Here's Brody Brazil.
So in the past, week and a half since this news came out with the A's and their land purchase agreement in Las Vegas, I've been here on the YouTube channel making a consistent amount of videos about the situation. And my goal here is to just keep you informed and updated and give you perspectives and analysis the best way I know how. And that usually involves me cultivating a number of different sources, putting things together, and trying to paint big picture topics out for you. And hopefully it's, like I said, it's been valuable on the channel. But this time around, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to give you just some flat out personal thoughts, maybe even opinions on this situation. And so these come from my brain, maybe some from my heart. And they're not things I've just made up and thought, well, this is a good idea for a video. These are actual real things, 5 of them in total that I completely think are worth passing along. Maybe there's something you can chew on as well too here. Okay, let's begin with this. I still can't believe that from the Oakland side of it, we're here. And it's been talked about and discussed in parallel paths and 20 years basically of a stadium saga between Fremont and San Jose and the Peralta site and multiple Oakland sites. I still can't believe, though, that we're here in 2023 in a 133-loss pace season right now. Yeah, that's going to take many more months to play out like that. But here at the end of April, the A's are on pace for 133 losses this season. And that should not be anybody's primary focus. The baseball at hand this year, I'm not going to say who cares because all of it does matter. But losing games and losing your team are two totally different things. And just going back to the idea of Oakland potentially losing a team here, it is amazing looking back that the city has got 0 breaks along the way. And the team has got 0 breaks along the way. Let me say it like this. The fans, the fans, have got 0 breaks along the way. Nobody ever came in and was the turning point, the tipping point of the whole situation and made it happen, or a group of people that came in and made it happen. Nothing worked out. And even Howard Terminal, which has got so far, and I'm not even saying past tense yet, I'm keeping it in present tense, I'm not sure that it is done, idea-wise, forever. But it came so far, and multiple good things happening, but in the end, 0 final breaks caught for this franchise. It's like any good championship team. A lot of talent, a lot of strategy, a lot of execution gets you almost the entire way. But at some point, every championship team needs a little bit of luck along the way. And for the A's, in this process, through multiple different entities of the team and multiple iterations of the city of Oakland, there has just not been that one lucky thing that has pushed this, I would say across the goal line, but across home plate. How about that? So it is amazing. I've had this lingering thought for the past week and a half. I can't believe this is real and this is really happening. And I wake up sometimes and it's the first thing I think about. It's mind-boggling to be in this scenario, even though we've been talking about it for a while and we always knew it was a possibility. Okay, here on the YouTube channel, I know most of you are from the Bay Area, but some of you are from across the country. And a specific amount of you are Las Vegas sports fans. And you have not been shy in sharing your comments, your opinions, and your takes, down below in my comment section, which, hey, is fine. I'm glad you found me. I'm glad you found the channel. I hope that you think what I'm passing along is sensible and not just plain crazy a majority of the time, which that's how some people operate, but not me. I understand if you're from Las Vegas right now and you're seeing this side of it, you are super excited about the potential of landing a big league baseball team. You just got the NFL, and a couple years before that, you have your own brand new hockey team. And in their first season, they go all the way to the Stanley Cup final. The Vegas Golden Knights have created something so unique, so amazing. Quite honestly, it's not supposed to happen like that. And don't ever think that it necessarily is your thing to happen again. But good for you that it happened. And I know you're going to get F1, and I know you're in the hunt for the NBA and MLS as well. More on that in just a second. I get how excited you are about this situation, but I do feel like sometimes the fans in Southern Nevada are so excited that they might even just see beyond the facts. A land purchase agreement does not mean that this has been Major League Baseball approved or that the state of Nevada has approved $500 million in funding. And that might happen. But for fans to comment and say, oh, it's already happened and give each other misinformation and for it to be believable enough to some, it blows my mind. But then again, it kind of doesn't here in 2023. That's the way everybody, like forget just Las Vegas, everybody seems to process information. Once you've read the headline, you know the whole story. Well, in this case, maybe not necessarily. I also want to, share my thought here. Look, Las Vegas is relatively new to pro sports. Now, if you're from Las Vegas, maybe that doesn't mean you're actually a native of Las Vegas. You're a transplant from somewhere else. So pro sports may not be new to you, but pro sports is new to Las Vegas, and you're growing and expanding so quickly as a small market in our country, the number 40 media market in our country. That can be debated about what Las Vegas is capable of. More on that later. I've got a thought on that. But I'm also here to say that Las Vegas is relatively new to the A's situation. And for people in Las Vegas to criticize the A's fans or attendance or the team or this or that, like you haven't lived this. Like there is a tremendous history and backstory here with everything that's been going on. I mean, like everything going on. How much do you even know about Howard Terminal and those negotiations? You likely don't. You did not live through it. So to jump in here just because your name has been mentioned and you think you have a seat at the table, like I'm not telling you you can't comment on the channel. I'm not trying to be mean or difficult here. Hopefully you're seeing I'm sensible. I'm just saying take it in stride instead of just running away with what you think is a foregone conclusion. So I just want to point that out. But again, I appreciate everybody who is here on the channel. Okay, next up is this. A's players and manager Mark Kotsay, of course, they've been asked about the situation, and that might continue to be the case. As this team tours the country, as other media entities come to do interviews, who else are they going to talk to at this point? Players and the coaching staff are accessible. What's your guys' opinion on your team potentially relocating? In my opinion, it's not fair to judge the comments or the opinions of any player or coach on that team. And that's for two main reasons. Number one, hardly any of them are actually from this area. They didn't come from here, but they're here now. And after their playing career or job is over, they'll go back home. So this area, the Bay Area, Oakland specifically, it means something to them, but it's not where they're from. It's not their roots. It's not in their DNA. They're transient by nature. That's what a baseball professional is. You work a couple seasons here, a couple seasons there. If you're lucky, you're with one team start to finish, but we know how rare that is. So for them to feel attached, sure, I do appreciate the sentiment and their observations about, how a team and their fans respond to them and the environment. I do appreciate the sentiments, but I think we all need to take it into perspective, like the current team right now. If you want to ask players who have been here, that might be different. If you want to ask people who have been here or people who are from this area, like a major leaguer who's actually from Northern California, okay, that thought, that opinion has a little bit more weight and credibility. But to widespread ask Aviator players or Oakland players about this situation and to take it with any type of, real significance behind it, I don't know that that's a fair way to operate. I also want to say that looking back in this saga of at least 6 years, right, between the Peralta site and Howard Terminal and really when Oakland and the A's got serious in negotiating and talking, I can't say anybody has been right here. And it does seem like, again, with public commentary, that everybody's searching to point the finger. It's their fault. It's the government's fault. It's the team's fault. It's MLB's fault. That saying of two ships crossing in the night, like you understand what that is. That's pretty simple, right? They just can't see each other. One went this way, one went the other way. Never saw each other. That must be a really old saying, by the way, because they were so dark on the ships without any type of electricity that they missed each other. I think in modern, never mind. You understand that's probably a long-standing saying, but it's still so applicable to what has happened here so far with the A's in Oakland. Both of them are at fault in some way, shape, or form. The truth is they've both been wrong sometimes and they've both been right sometimes. And it's just never synchronized so that they were both actually on the same page to get things done. And it really makes me go back in reverse and say, well, why are we why are we picking sides? Why are we holding grudges here? I mean, we're so quick to do all this finger pointing at how things fell apart. And sure, maybe in the last week and a half, as things did really seem to dissolve, that's the time to point fingers, I guess, from a public perspective standpoint. But if you really actually want to make progress and see this thing through and see it back to where it could be, picking sides and holding grudges at this point, until something is done, signed, sealed, and delivered, done, picking sides does not help us get to a final equation, when both sides have easily been wrong at one point or another. Simple as that. And then obviously all of this has become an Oakland versus Las Vegas thing, and the Raiders moving away. And then people will say, well, Oakland has now lost 2 pro sports teams with the Warriors and Raiders. Could they lose a third? How, monumental and unprecedented would this be? And I guess, look, it is geographically a little bit of a connection to Western cities. And here's what I do know. Oakland has proven over the years that it can be viable with Major League Baseball. And heck, with only one true team in town right now, it definitely could be viable under proper circumstances. The last decade or so, yeah, it's been turbulent. It's been difficult with things here baseball-wise in the East Bay. But looking at Las Vegas, right, and how quickly they've expanded, they are the number 40 media market across our country. Not a lot of number 40 media markets have NFL, NHL, WNBA, F1 coming this fall, and then add MLB, MLS, and the NBA, and add them all in a 10-year span. Like, Las Vegas is expanding quickly as a city, and their sports portfolio is also getting quite bulky quite quick. But let me give you a Las Vegas analogy here. And again, this is just a thought. I might be wrong. You might watch this video in 10 years from now and say, dude, you were so off. Possibly. I'm willing to own that in this situation. But right now, I want to say it like this. Think of a Las Vegas buffet. Think about going to the buffet at, I don't know, MGM. Do they have one there? And your eyes are bigger than your stomach. And you put way too much on your plate. You can't finish it all. You can't get to it all. You end up leaving most of it there. Now, that's the idea of a buffet, but it's just a little bit more costly when you commit all that public money to the NFL, to potentially Major League Baseball, potentially to the NBA and MLS. Hockey, by the way, the NHL, the Golden Knights, they didn't need any public money to get started right off the strip. But it has become this weird thing where there's questions of viability both ways. Look, Oakland can handle, and the Bay Area can handle 2 baseball teams, if that's what you're asking. If you're asking, can Las Vegas do NFL, NHL, WNBA, F1, MLB, NBA, and MLS and expand it out all in 10 years? I don't know. Like, I truly don't know. And if you're from Las Vegas and you're like, oh, for sure we can. How do you know that? Nobody knows that. You think that, you believe that, and you're there, and you might have a really good instinct. And you might be right. We just don't know it yet. So there you go. Not exactly news or information or something breaking or whatever, but this is just personal perspectives and some answers that I've come up with, thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please be civil. Thumbs up on this video. Since you made it all the way, you survived my raspy voice. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel so that I can see you next time.